morning class. Today we discuss about EHV transmission line of TDEP project. First of all, introduction. The transmission due to this is done at very high voltage to reduce the transmission losses. Generally, the HVAC system is used to transmit the bulk power. Due to the various advantages of HVDC transmission and due to the economical aspect. The first HVDC transmission line is implemented in year 1954 between mainland of Sweden and Iceland of Gotland. And in India, first 915 km long HVDC line is implemented in year 1990 between Refund and Delhi. Advantages of EHV transmission lines. First advantage is reduction in I2R losses. It means for same amount of power, the line current decreases with increasing in line voltage. So the I2R loss is reduces. Second one is increase in transmission efficiency. It means the transmission efficiency is increased as per the I2R loss in the transmission line reduces. Third one, increase in transmission capacity. It means the transmission capacity is proportional to the square of line voltage while the cost of different equipment is proportional to the voltage rather than square of the voltage, so the overall transmission capacity is increased. Fourth one is reduction in installation cost. It means the installation cost per kilometer of the transmission line is decreased with increasing in transmission voltage. Fifth one is reduction in number of circuit. It means the total number of circuit is reduced with the increase in transmission voltage. And sixth one is more economically. It means the EHV transmission line is more economical for the long transmission line. Now we discuss about line diagram of HVAC transmission system. The line diagram of the HVAC transmission system is showing below figure. In figure we showing both the side, sending end side and receiving end side, both the two generating station are there and both the station connected with the circuit breaker, and the one is the intermediate substation which is showing figure. This type of transmission system required two parallel lines. So the stability and reliability of the system can be maintained during the faulty condition. This type of system also require one or more than one intermediate substation for the receiving power compensation and for other purpose such as the protection and switching, etc. The intermediate substation should be placed at the intervals of 250 kilometers. Now we discuss about the advantages of HVAC transmission line. First one is less maintenance. It means the maintenance of the AC substation is comparatively very less and also it is very cheap. Now second one is high voltage transmission. It means the generated voltage can easily be raised up to the 220 kV for the efficient transmission system. Third one is use of transformer. It means the high AC voltage can be stepped down to the required value with the help of step down transformer for the distribution purpose. Fourth one is the reduction in requirement of conductor material. It means the HVAC transmission system requires less material as the volume of the material is inversely proportional to the square of the voltages. Okay. Now fifth one is the reduction in line losses. It means for the same amount of power as the transmission voltage increases, the current flowing through the line decreases, which reduce the transmission line losses. Sixth one is increase in the transmission efficiency. It means due to the reduction of in line losses, the transmission efficiency will be increases. Seventh one is better voltage regulation. It means that the percentage voltage drop is reduced as it is inversely proportional to the transmission voltage. 8 1 is a flexibility for the future growth. It means the HVAC system is very flexible to increase the voltage to the meet the future demand. And last one is the possibility of the interconnection. It means that it is possible to interconnect the HVAC system which is not possible in the HVDC system. Okay. Now we discuss about the disadvantages of HVAC transmission line. The first one is require large amount of insulation. It means the higher transmission voltage require the large amount of the insulation. This will create the problem in connection with the conductors. Also, it will increase the insulation cost. Second one is intermediate substation. The HVAC system requires the intermediate substation for the compensation for the reactive power. Third one is the corona loss. The corona effect is more in the HVAC transmission system. The corona effect causes the power loss as well as it creates the disturbances in the nearer communication lines. Fourth one is radio interference. It is also creating more radio interference in HVAC system. A fifth one is the stability. The stability of the HVAC system is less, which reduces the distance of the transmission line up to the 500 kilometers. Now, reactive power loss. The reactive power loss will be occur in the HVAC system due to the presence of the frequency. Because the capacitive reactance and the inductive reactance are present in the HVAC system, which produce the net reactance effect. Next is a skin effect. The skin effect is present in HVAC system. Due to the skin effect, the net effective area of the conductor is increased, which increase the line losses as well as reduce the transmission efficiency. Now is line loading. The loading on the HVAC transmission system is limited to the one-third of its thermal rating of the conductor due to the transient stability and the line reactance. Now, electrostatic effect. The HVAC transmission system generates the electrostatic effect, which is very dangerous to the human being. The last one is the high transmission cost. It means the transmission cost increases with increase in transmission voltage. This is because as the transmission voltage increases, the cost of the transformer, switch gears and other equipment are also increases. Now, we discuss about the line diagram of HVDC transmission system. The line diagram of the HVDC transmission system is shown below figure. In figure, we show two units are there. One is a rectifier section and second is a inverter section. The rectifier station is as a starting of the transmission line is called the sending end station, and the inverter is the last end. It means it called the receiving end station. And both the side, sending end side, the step up transformer are used, and receiving end side step down transformer are used. It consists of two converter units, one at the sending end while one at the receiving end. These two ends are interconnected by the DC transmission line. The AC power generated by the generating station is first stepped up by the step-up transformer. After that, this high voltage AC power is converted into DC with the help of the rectifier unit at the sending end side. This high voltage DC power is then transmitted over a long distance through the HVDC transmission line. At the receiving end, the HVDC transmission line is this high voltage DC power is again converted into AC power with the help of the inverter unit. Now we discuss about the advantages of HVDC transmission line. First one is number of line conductor. The HVDC system requires only two conductors, while the three-phase, three-wire HVAC system requires the three conductors. As the overall cost of the conducting material is reduced. Second is size of tower. The HVDC system requires is less ground clearance as well as the less air due to the only two conductors and due to the absence of the capacitive effect. Also, it requires only two conductors, hence the overall size of the tower is reduces. Third one is cheaper. The HVDC transmission system requires only two conductors, which reduce the overall cost of the HVDC transmission systems. Now, fourth one is the better voltage regulation. As the frequency is zero in DC system, the capacitive and inductive reactance are zero. Hence, the voltage drop is only due to the resistance, which is very less as compared to the HVAC system. It means the HVDC system gives the better voltage regulation as compared to the AC systems. Fifth one is the high transmission efficiency. The HVDC system requires only two conductors, hence the overall line losses are reduced, which increase the transmission efficiency of the HVDC system. Next is a more stable or reliable system. It means the problem of instability is absent in HVDC system. It means the HVDC system is more stable. Also, the HVDC system is more reliable as compared to the HVAC systems. Next one is the line loading. There is a no limit of loading on the HVDC transmission line system. Uh, Next is absent of skin and Faraday effect. It means the skin effect is absent in HVDC system as the frequency is zero. Similarly, the Faraday effect is also absent in the HVDC system. Next is the less short circuit current. If the two HVAC systems are interconnected by the HVDC line, then it will reduce the short circuit current. Next is reactive power compensation. The HVDC transmission system does not require any reactive power compensation as in a HVAC system. And last one is a less stress on insulation. It means for the same voltage level, the stress on the insulation is less in the HVDC system as compared to the HVAC systems. Now we discuss about the disadvantages of HVDC transmission line. First is additional equipment. It means the HVDC system requires the additional equipment like converters, inverters, filters, etc. As the overall capital cost of the system as well as the maintenance cost is increased. Second is not economical for short distance. It means the HVDC transmission system is not economical for short distance due to the extra cost of the converters and inverters and filters. Third one is the generation of harmonics. It means the harmonics are generated in the DC system and the HVDC system requires the harmonic filter. Fourth one is requirement of reactive power. It means the converter station require the reactive power. Fifth one is the power loss. It means in HVDC system the additional losses occur in the converter, transformer and values. Hence the cooling system must be effective. Next is a difficult to circuit breaker. It means the DC circuit breaking is very difficult to multi-terminal HVDC system. Next is a less overload capacity. It means the overload capacity of the converter used in the HVDC system is very less. And last one is the transformation voltage. It means as the transformation works only on the AC supply, the DC voltage cannot be raised up for the efficient high voltage transmission very easily. Now we discuss about the types of HVDC transmission system. First one is a monopolar HVDC system. This type of system consists only one pole which has the generally negative polarity with respect to the earth. The return path is provided by the permanent sea or earth. Second one is a bipolar HVDC system. This type of system consists of two poles. One has the positive polarity and the second has the negative polarity with respect to the earth. Third one is a homopolar HVDC systems. It consists of two poles of the same polarity. The return path is provided by the permanent sea or earth. Fourth one is a back-to-back HVDC system. In this type of HVDC system, there is a no DC transmission line. The rectification and inversion take place in the same substations. And fifth one is a multi-terminal HVDC system. This type of HVDC system consists three or more terminal substations. Now we discussion about application of HVDC systems. First one is underground and underwater cables. In case of the power transmission through the cables, the length of the cable in the AC transmission system is restricted to 25 to 40 km. This problem arises due to the flow of charging current. For the distance above 40 km, the HVDC cable transmission is most suitable. Due to the absence of dielectric loss, the DC cable can be designed up to the 400 kV, and also there is a no limit for its length. Second one is a long distance bulk power transmission. For the long distance, the DC overhead transmission line are very economical as compared to the three-phase AC power transmission. Third one is a parallel link to AC-DC system. It means it is possible to use the DC link in parallel with the AC link. In this type of system, the DC link can be used to increase the power transmitted over the AC system. It is also provide the additional damping for the stability purpose. Fourth one is a multi-terminal HVDC system. In this type of HVDC system, the three or more substations can be interconnected to transmit the bulk power. And fifth one is the asynchronous interconnected of AC system. The interconnection of two AC systems having different frequency is not possible with the help of the AC system, while it is possible with the help of DC system. This type of system does not require the DC line. The two AC stations which have a different frequency are interconnected using the back-to-back systems. Thank you.